Hi, I'm your Everyday Joe. Thanks for coming to my channel. Today we're going to make a nice, delicious recipe using the Ninja Foodi. It's a boneless leg of lamb, so make sure you stay tuned.
If you want to show support to this channel, be sure to click the subscribe button. And to stay up to date on new content, when we release it, ring the notification bell. Now let's get into the video.
The ingredients we're going to need for this leg of lamb, we've got about a 4-pound boneless leg of lamb, some potato, onion, carrot, chopped garlic, olive oil, rice vinegar, 1 cup of white wine, salt, pepper, a blend of Italian seasonings, basil, oregano, parsley, thyme, and some mint. So first thing we're going to do is, I've already cleaned up this 4-pound leg of lamb. It's boneless. I bought it boneless. I trimmed off all the excess fat as I didn't want too much. I did want to leave a little bit on there. It's going to help flavor things out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to salt this on the inside first. Salt and pepper it. So let's... all right. So we're going to let it marinate. We're going to let it marinate a little bit in a little rice vinegar and olive oil with some salt. So just going to give it a little bit of salt on the inside because I'm going to roll it up and throw it in the bag. So I'm just going to take this. Okay, put this in the bag. Right here. Move that off. Okay, and again, this is just over 4 pounds, about 4 1/4 pounds. So you're going to need quite a bit of seasonings for this. So get olive oil in there, and I'm using some rice vinegar. You don't have to do this part, but I find that with lamb, it actually adds a nice little tang to it, nice little background flavoring. So it does a good job on that. You can use like Italian seasoning or a salad dressing of some sort. So, and we're only going to let this marinate for maybe about 15 minutes, a half hour, not too long. Okay. Okay, so we're just going to roll this up, put this back on the dish here, and we're going to put this aside. So now, in the Foodi, I've already got the onions and the carrots chopped up. I've also got maybe about 5 or 6 cloves of garlic minced, and a bunch of seasoning here that we're gonna saute first. So let's turn the Foodi on, and we're gonna go to saute. Sear saute on high is fine, and we're gonna get this started. So we want to make sure that this gets hot enough so we can saute. So we're going to give it a few minutes just to heat up. Okay, now the Ninja Foodi is getting pretty hot. I can feel it. I'm going to take my laser thermometer here, and it looks like it's reading about 400, over 400, 450, 447. Yeah, about 450. I think it's plenty hot to do some searing. So it's been about 10 minutes or so. I think the lamb should be okay. Now you can let it marinate overnight if you want. You can let it not marinate at all. It's up to you. I think 10-15 minutes is fine. So I'm just going to pull this out. Okay. Okay, let's just put that aside. All right. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pat it down a little bit. So I don't want it too wet. Okay, grab some paper towels. All right, so I'm going to pat it down because I want to get a good sear on it. Get it all patted down. Let's get rid of this. Okay, and you'll see that depending the way the bone was taken out, I mean, it's going to look pretty rough, but that's okay. We're gonna tie it together so it stays somewhat uniform. That's usually the trussing, the tying. That'll help it stay uniform when it cooks. Okay, Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut some of this twine here, this butcher's twine. Probably, I don't know, maybe about 5 or 6 strands. And it's okay if you make them longer. You can always trim it off afterwards. Okay, trim that off. Maybe a couple more, just in case. I'm just making them the length of the board, just as a guide. Okay, put that aside. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to line it up underneath the lamb. That way we can align it. Let's put this over here for now. All right, so I'm going to align the butcher's twine here, maybe about a couple inches in between. Okay, just like that. All right, so we're going to take our leg of lamb, take that out, and we're just going to put the wider end down here. Okay, like that. So what I'm going to do here is take some garlic, put it on the inside, because once we tie it, we're not going to be able to get to the inside. And I want to make sure when you add the seasoning, you get, you know, all the little cuts and crevices and get it all spread out in there. Because I mean, it is a pretty big piece of meat here. It's about 4 pounds, like we said earlier. Okay. And that's why I'm using the minced garlic, or the small chopped garlic, because I want to be able to get it into all the little openings, little slits and cuts and stuff to get it all seasoned up. Okay, so we're going to take some of this. This is just a mint that I got from my AeroGarden there. So we're just going to line that up on the inside there. I mean, if the stems are a little thick, then you can pull the leaves off. Otherwise, you know, it should be all right. The thing with the AeroGarden herbs, very they come out very tender. They're not tree trunky. Yeah, they don't have big thick stems. So it's just a mint and garlic, kind of a seasoning here. A little bit of fresh parsley, curly parsley. Again, I got that from the AeroGarden. Put the rest of these leaves in here. Like I said, I mean, this is a pretty big size, pretty good size piece of meat here, so you want to make sure you get it all seasoned in here. All right, and of course I'm gonna add some kosher salt on there. Okay, you want to be pretty liberal. Again, I mean, it's a big piece of meat, and you're not going to be able to season the inside afterwards. Okay, and some black pepper, some crushed black pepper on the inside. Again, being very liberal with it. All right, and I'm going to throw a little pinch of this. This is just some dried herbs that I got from the AeroGarden, and I also added some oregano and some basil to it. So I'm just going to take all these, put them in here, and then I'm just going to fold one side over like this. Try to get it rolled up as best you can. I mean, it's not going to be pretty going in, but it's going to be flavorful. So, and I'm just going to tie it like this. Now you can truss it any way you want. I mean, just basically to keep it from opening up while it's in there. All right, let's get rid of that. Now I can feel the heat from here. It's definitely ready to go. So I'll just wipe my hands real quick. All right, we're gonna add a little bit of olive oil in here just to get things rolling. Okay, and we're gonna take this leg of lamb. All we're gonna do is sear it. We're not gonna cook it all the way through because then we're gonna pressure cook it for about 15 minutes. So let's put that in there. Okay. So what I did is I pushed it against the side because the whole pot is hot and I want to be able to get around it a little easier. And that'll also help, you know, sear in the shape of it. So I'm just going to wash my hands and then we'll turn this over as it sears. Okay, so in the last segment I forgot to season the outside, so I've been seasoning as I turn it anyway. And you can take a look. I've had some garlic, some salt, some black pepper, and some of this dry seasoning mix to the outside of it as I'm turning it. And you can see the color on this thing. This is really searing up nicely. Take a look at that. I mean, this thing's gorgeous looking. So it's just going to season this other side here. Okay. Okay, we're going to give this only a couple more minutes. A couple more minutes here, and then we're going to take it out and we're going to saute all these vegetables before we put it back in. So we'll just give this another minute or so. And the bits on the bottom, you know, you don't want to worry about that because once we put the liquid in, it's going to free all that up, and that's going to help make a good gravy at the end. Okay, so I'm going to grab a plate here so we can take it out. I'm going to let it sit while we saute all the vegetables and then get this back onto the into the pressure cooker here. And I give a nice thick dice to the potatoes, leaving them in the water. I'm not going to dump the water. We're going to use the water to thicken up the gravy afterwards. So let's just get some of this stuff out of the way. Clean all that up here. Don't want to be a slob here. All right. So let's take a look here. Nice, huh? Take a look at that. So we're just going to pull this out. Let this thing rest here for a sec. Oh, it already smells fantastic too. All right, so going to get a little bit more oil in that. And we're going to get the carrots in there. And the onions. Again, all thickly chopped. Okay, throw some garlic, some sliced garlic in there. Okay. A little salt. And some black pepper. Let's give this a stir. Okay, get it all coated with all these little bits at the bottom too. So that's going to give it nice flavoring. So let this just saute for a little bit. Again, you know, we're going to be going in the pressure cooking for about 15 minutes. So all of this is going to cook. We don't have to worry too much about it. So we'll just give it a few more minutes here, just to get things started. Okay, and the liquid we're going to use is some regular dry white wine. You can add a little bit of chicken stock in there too if you have it. We're just going to go with the wine and the water from the potatoes. So that's going to give it a little bit more starch in there. It's going to thicken things up too once we get into making the sauce. Okay, so let's get the wine in there. That in there. And the potatoes. Okay. All right. So now we're going to put this bad boy back in there. So that back into here. Put it right on top of the vegetables. All right. So I'm going to turn that off here. We're going to switch it to the pressure cooking on high. We're going to go about 15 minutes. Okay, I'm going to take the lid, okay, valve side to the back. I'm going to press it in, make sure that seal seats. Okay, close that up. Valve to seal. Okay, and we're going to hit the start. Close that. So it's probably, because it's so hot in there right now, it's probably not going to take long for it to build up the pressure. My guess is probably about 3 or 4 minutes. The pin will pop up. The timer will start, and I'll bring you back when we're finishing up on the pressure cooking, and we'll take a look at it. Okay, now that the pressure cooking is done, we let it sit for 15 minutes, and then another 10 minutes. Actually, we're at about 11 minutes now on a natural release. So now we're just going to release the remaining pressure, open it up, and take a look. So just going to use a towel here to move that valve over. Shouldn't be much pressure in there now. So we'll wait till the pin goes down. Probably take maybe about a minute. So this is almost done here. We're going to take a look at it. The pin just dropped. So let's open this up. Again, you want to be very careful when you're doing any pressure cooking. The steam is going to be very, very hot. Okay, so you can take a look at it. It actually looks really good. Okay, so let's just take the lamb out. So this is a 4-pound lamb, leg of lamb in here. So it's just about done cooking anyway. We're going to test the temperature anyway, just to make sure. All right, and before we take the vegetables out, let's just test the temperature. I'm using my Therm Pro meat thermometer, which I'm going to use for air frying too. Okay, and this is what it looks like here. I bought this on Amazon, probably about 15 bucks, maybe 10 bucks. I'll leave some links down at the bottom if you're interested in this. Okay, we're just going to switch it to Fahrenheit. And we're looking for about 130 to 140 degrees, 130 being the medium rare, 140 to medium. So let's see where we are right now. We're going to put it right into the thick end of it here and see where we are. Okay. So we're at about 118 degrees. So we're a bit low, but that's fine because we're going to be air frying or air crisping for another about 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes or so, depending on when the temperature comes up. So let's take that up. I'm going to take another bowl here. And I'm going to pull out the vegetables and the liquid. Okay, and the vegetables are pretty done. Potato just falls apart. So that was the last thing we put in there, if you remember. We're just going to take that out. And I'm not going to save all the liquid. I'm going to save some of it for a gravy. Okay, just pull that out. Probably should have used a slotted spoon, but that's fine. We'll do with what we have. Seeing that we're all stuck in the house anyway. No place to go. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to grab my little measuring cup here. I only need, I don't know, maybe about a cup's worth of liquid. We don't need all that much. Make sure I got my glove on here. This thing's still hot. So I'm just going to pour some of this liquid out. I think that's probably about enough. I don't think we need all that much. Okay, and I'm going to dump the rest. I'm going to clean out the pot, and I'll get everything set up for you for the air crisping. All right, so now I cleaned out the pot. I drained off all the vegetables in there. And I also saved about a cup's worth of the liquid. I skimmed off as much of the oil as I could because I'm going to make a little bit of a gravy on it. All right, so we're just going to take this here and we're going to put it into the Air Crisp basket. Okay. Okay, get that in there. All right, we're going to save some of those juices too. All right, so I'm going to close the air fry lid, or the Air Crisp lid. We're going to close that up. Okay, we're going to select Air Crisp, bring it up to 400 degrees. And I'm only going to go about 10 minutes here and start. Okay, so we're going to let this air crisp for about 10 minutes. We're going to take a look at it. I want to make sure it gets a nice crust on it. And then we'll get ready to serve. And I'll bring you back when I take it out and start setting it up. All right, now the air crisping is finished. Take a look at it. Ah, nice. You got a nice crust on this. So let's grab a bowl. Grab a bowl here. And I've got some broccolini I'm going to be sauteing too as a side dish here. So let's grab this. You can see it, nice crispy edges here. I put that in the bowl here, set this aside, and in the meantime, I'm going to pull this out here, get my towel. Okay. So now I'm just going to do a quick saute on these broccolini here, which I've already cleaned and trimmed the bottom. And if you see some of these broccolini, I mean, they look like just the tops of the regular broccoli. We call them like broccolini's baby broccoli. If you see stems that are thick like this, just put a slit in it. Cut it right down the middle here. That'll help cook it more evenly. So we're going to start this up. Go back to sear saute on high. And it's already warm in there, so I'm just going to give it a second here to warm up. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to season this. I'm not going to season in here. There's a little bit of the juice in there. I'm not going to worry too much about that. So a little bit of olive oil. A little bit of salt. Okay. Some crushed black pepper. And some of this dry seasoning, just to give it a little bit extra flavor. And we are going to saute the remainder of that garlic here that we have here. I'm going to saute it in here just to get it nice and soft and sweet. So this is starting to come up. So let's put this in here. Okay, you can hear the sizzle already. Just going to add a little bit more oil in there. Okay. Okay, we're going to let that cook. We're going to add the garlic, the remainder of that garlic. I'd probably use about 6 or 7 cloves of garlic, chopped, sliced, a little bit of both. Okay. And these won't take long at all. I mean, they'll start softening up, within a minute or so anyway. Okay. Okay, so we'll let those cook. I'm going to get a platter for this. I'm going to cut the strings off of it, and I'll show you the presentation as soon as I come back. All right, now that I finished the broccolini, I also made the gravy. I used the juices that came from the leg of lamb that we took out earlier. Put that in the bottom of the pot. Set it to saute. Added about a quarter tablespoon of some cornstarch, and just kept stirring until it thickened up. And it actually made a very nice gravy. You can see that really nice. Also gave it a little splash of white wine there at the end. So let's take a look at this boneless leg of lamb. See how well we did. I haven't cut into it yet, so wish me luck. All right, let's just put this on the cutting board here, and let's see what we did. So let's give it a cut here. I've already taken the strings off of it, so now we just need to take a look at it. Okay. We gave it a nice crust. It's about a medium to a medium well. Okay, you can take a look at the color inside, see all the juices. Let's give it a little quick taste. Not bad, not bad. So we give it a few more cuts here. Get right into the middle of it. You can see it's just beautiful, really nice. So I'm going to plate this up. We're going to give it a taste here. We're going to take a piece here because I want to taste it with the gravy. So we're going to just take a little piece of that, and you can see all the spices, all the seasoning, the crust on it. Nice on the outside, soft and juicy on the inside. So I'm just going to give it a little dip in the lamb gravy. Yeah, it's got a nice flavor to it. You can taste the garlic and all the seasoning in there too. Really nice. Came out real nice in there, and it's real tender and real juicy in here. So I'm going to give that nice little presentation here. And I'm going to have one of these broccolinis. These are fantastic. Real good. Just add a little salt on the top. Good to go. You can see the cut on this, really nice. And obviously the vegetables, we're not going to touch those. No, we'll eat those afterwards. All right, so hope you guys enjoyed this recipe. I know it's probably a little bit longer than normal, but this is definitely worth it. So if you enjoyed watching this video and watching these recipes, go ahead and click the thumbs up and the likes. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and click the globe at the bottom. There'll be some videos here on the side here. And make sure you guys stay safe and healthy out there during this coronavirus thing. So we'll see you in the next video. And thanks again for spending some time with us.